talk about respect in combat sports. In the About Violence podcast, episode number 5, Tim Kennedy talks about the most magical moment to be the moments just after the fight has ended.
Yuji Gatami, judo terms. Wow. The guy Chris put on a nice display of jiu-jitsu. Let me go talk to him, Chase.
And someone has their hand raised in triumph. And the other has theirs lowered in defeat.
He doesn't get overtime, he's got it in. Seriously?
In that moment, there is a responsibility, I think, of the victor to show respect. Even athletes like Conor McGregor, who are notorious for talking smack and disrespecting people, you'll notice that in the actual cage, the fighters show respect to each other. Most of the time. Why? They were just trying to beat each other up. Why would they be showing respect to each other? Well, as someone who's experienced it, to me it's pretty obvious. We're travelers of the same path. If you step into a cage to grapple somebody in front of a crowd, and you've trained really hard to get there, you know what it feels like to tap out. You know what it feels like to not be good at something. You know what most people are capable of when it comes to progressing through the sport. And when you meet somebody who is at a level that you know is only achievable through not just hard work, but deep physical and mental struggle, there's a respect. There has to be, because you know what you went through to get to where you're at. And if they're meeting you at that same level, then they have to have gone through something very similar. And it's this unspoken and sometimes even spoken bond between combat sports athletes. It's the respect that happens after. And the reason I'm making this video is because on social media, there is sometimes a tendency to blow up the portion of the promotion where it's smack talk and gloating over one person or another. And I got a comment that really disappointed and upset me. It was a comment on one of my matches where I won, and basically it was, I'm not even going to give it the light of day, I'm not going to paraphrase it, but it was disrespecting my opponent. It was basically putting him down and saying, oh, haha, is this something, that we show to gloat over our people? Is like, is he less of a man because he like, no. First of all, let me tell you this. I've lost plenty of matches. Everybody who's competed in a combat sports event, has lost. Everybody. Because there's only two, in a tournament, right, only one guy wins. So, let's say it's a 32-man bracket. Well, 31 people lose, and one man wins. Let's say it's just a single match. Well, two people go in, but only one wins. So, the odds just are not in your favor. It's part of the process. It sucks to lose. It's not as fun to lose, right? But it is a part of the process. And if you get to stand in the same ring as someone who has put themselves through a gauntlet, and you guys are equals and you butt heads, and one of them triumphs over another, it doesn't mean the other person was less because of that. It actually elevates both parties, because the harder the battle, the harder the fight, the greater the reward. If I went out to compete against someone who was a fat, lazy slob who never trained in their life, and I just did a move and won real quick, that's lame, right? Why? No one would want to watch that. There's no sport in that. If I went out and fought someone who was half my size and never even thought about competing before, and they were blindfolded, right? Oh man, what an amazing performance. He dominated this person in 2 seconds. You need resistance in order to show, John Danaher says, I'm obviously paraphrasing, but the level of an athlete's achievement in a combat sport can only be measured by the severity of the competition that he fought. So if you go into a combat sport and you can only find Joe Schmo people, even if you're the champion of the world, well, you're the champion of a bunch of Joe Schmoes. But if you go into a combat sport and there's a bunch of people who've been training and the level is really high, then you're the champion of champions, which is much cooler. So, no, we shouldn't be disrespecting our opponents. No, winning or losing doesn't make you more or less of a person. The respect amongst athletes and competitors who have traveled the common path, who have forged the way just through pain and suffering, we have much more in common than we are dissimilar. Don't forget that.